Hello and welcome back to another video where today we're going to be building my very own take on the Four Seasons Hotel in Town to City. So I've already identified a spot for this hotel and it's going to be just at the other end of this road here up on the cliff top. We've got some really amazing views out to sea up here which I think would fit a luxury hotel perfectly. So let's go ahead and get stuck into the game. So first things first, how is this going to be the Four Seasons Hotel? Because I'm going to be building out the seasonal themed Scenic Routes to go with it. And of course, there's only one hotel that will do for the biggest luxury hotel that we're going to have. It's going to be another one of these grand hotels. So I would like to build this kind of up the top of this road here. Lots of space to build out routes around it. And I think just like that is going to be a pretty perfect spot. And there we go, step one of our hotel has been built. And I do feel I have to immediately come clean with this idea that this is technically not going to be a Four Seasons hotel, it will just be a Three Seasons hotel. That's because we can only have a maximum of 3 scenic routes per hotel, so it would be impossible to build out all 4. And in addition to that, we actually already built out the summer scenic route down here in one of our very first episodes on the beach. So we've already actually got winter, spring and autumn left to play with. So first things first, let's see what route we want to get in here as our very first route. So we've got the autumn adventure / spooky stroll, which would both kind of fit our autumn theme. We've got Zen Garden, which is going to be a spring one. And we've got Winter Wonderland for our winter theme. So I think the hardest one to build out is going to be the Winter Wonderland because I don't really want to include snow or anything because I think that's going to look a bit weird on the map. So let's try and get that done first. I'm pretty sure we're going to need to clean out all of these trees and rocks from this area in order to make this work, so let's go ahead and do that as well. And we can clean up this ground as well. There we go, back to our Winter Wonderland route. All we really need for this is lots of winter decorations and for it to be a certain length. And I think I might build it out over on this right side of the hotel. So let's get a bit of a path network in. So I think it might make sense to have a bit of a square path going round the hotel. We might need to actually just realign the hotel very slightly to make it work with this. You can just pick it up and straighten it up so that it fits perfectly square. And then let's get a nice kind of curved path up heading into it. I think that looks pretty good. And then we're basically going to have lots of little brown paths, or maybe even plaza paths, coming off in different areas around it to make way for these scenic routes. So for our winter scenic route, I'm going to be coming up to my decorations filter, clicking on winter, and these are the 10 decorations we have for winter. I think I actually want a bit of an archway leading into the winter garden. I think I'll use this large hedge archway with some flowers on it as well, some nice white flowers. So that can maybe come off the front of this hotel here. And then I think having a hedge come up the rest of this way is going to make a lot of sense. And maybe even along the front as well, just like that. And then we want to designate a bit of an area around here for our winter garden. So let's go ahead and get this plaza path, taking it down to a pretty small size, maybe size 1. And I'm going to see if I can free form, kind of draw these paths out. So let's have a bit of a square where we enter into the winter garden. There we go, I think those curves look pretty natural. I've drawn a little stub up here in case we want to include anything down in that corner. But now let's go ahead and see if there's any of our winter decorations that would fit in well. And we've already got quite a lot of trees that I think are going to fit into this area. So some of these snow-covered trees I'm kind of happy to have. I maybe want to kind of have these around the outside of the garden, forming almost a border, I suppose. Don't want too many of them, but something like this looks pretty good. And then perhaps we want our big festive tree in the middle. So we can have this one with a lot of decorations. Could have that in the middle like that. And then we could have this brazier kind of down this way. We've also got some sort of snowy withered trees. I think a few of those could also look good. There we go, pretty happy with that. I think I might draw in dirt road in the kind of middle of this area. And then perhaps a little fence. We could go for this little light up fence that I think looks pretty Christmassy, kind of around the edge of this area, although mostly leaving a few little gaps to get in as well. There we go, so we've got kind of 3 little entrances into that area, and that means we could get, first of all, a kind of nice big sleigh over by this Christmas tree. I'm actually going to maybe move the Christmas tree just slightly back in the area so we can fit this sleigh out in front. And we can have a little mini one next to it as well. And then we definitely want a bunch of presents piled up by this tree. I think having lots of little piles of presents dotted around is going to look pretty cute. Definitely out the front of this sleigh as well. And I guess I'm imagining for this area that this is almost like a kind of holiday hotel you can come to, or you can visit with your family. So if you ever did that thing as a child of like going and seeing Santa in his grotto, then that's something you could come and do here in this area. There we go, that's lots of presents. And then around this fireplace, I just want some pretty cozy seating, to be honest. I think we could go for 1 picnic bench, or maybe 2 picnic benches, just like that. And then just some little wooden benches dotted around, like this. So you could come and warm up by the fire. And of course, get a couple of little candles out for those. And as I discovered last time, you can actually put these candles in the tree as well. So I'm definitely going to do that. So I think they look so good. Just like that. And then I guess in this little path, I'm just considering this to be like a little scenic winter walk that you could do. So maybe cut off the end of it just like that. So you can get about that far. And I think we can line it with some little lanterns on the floor, just like this. And we can have like a little snowman around like this. I think we should definitely have a few of them going up and down the path. And we can just pretend that these are fake snowmen, because obviously you wouldn't be able to have a snowman without snow normally. Maybe a little bit of fake snow around the trees as well. I think having that just at the entrance is kind of good. And so let's go ahead and build out our walking path. This is actually a pretty short walking path, so I'm not sure how much, whether we're able to get the full length on here or not. Definitely want to come all the way around there, probably go all the way up there and back. And yeah, that is just about long enough. Literally, I think that's like the lower bound we could have had for length. And that's already an 100% walking route, so I'm pretty happy with how that winter garden is looking. Get a couple of people employed at our hotel, and especially with those lights, that's looking pretty good at night as well, I think. And I think I just want to add a couple of small bushes and rocks just on the outside of this path, just to keep it looking nice and aesthetic all the way around. Can have some smaller bushes as well. I can disable collision so we can get these nice and close to each other. And I really just want the tiny rocks for this. And then I think we could have just like a few small bits of snow surrounding them. Just like that, to add to the kind of fake winter vibes. And I do think having a little lantern around these paths would also be good. Just like that. And I wonder if anything should sort of sit in the middle of this entrance. The only winter decoration I haven't used is these sleds, so I think we could just have a couple piled up here, as though they're ready to be used. And then we could just have a very small festive tree, perhaps, at the entrance here. Perhaps just something like that, with a tiny bit of dirt underneath it. And there we go, these tourists are already off enjoying their beautiful winter wonderland. So, quick break from our scenic routes in order to upgrade our town. We do have some spare spaces in these houses. I would like to move in a couple of families. This family are going to be pretty happy with their tree coverage here, although I do need to probably add just a couple more to get up to the maximum. I can really just add a couple of small trees around here to get that tree score all the way up. And yep, now they're up to 20%. And this family can go ahead and move into this house. Probably means we've got no more spare houses anymore. But look at this, we can upgrade to small town. So let's go ahead and do that. City upgraded to stage 5. We've unlocked public service. That's great. We'll get some really good buildings with that. And we've expanded our research menu a little bit. And this big grand station that we've unlocked is definitely calling for a town entrance build in a future episode. So that's something to look forward to. Okay, so there we go. Winter Wonderland is all finished. That means we can come in here, upgrade our hotel to be even bigger and grander, and add in another route. So I think the second route I'm going to want to work on for the 4 Seasons or 3 Seasons hotel is going to be this Zen garden, which basically just involves putting down spring decorations. We have some of these really beautiful kind of Japanese themed decorations. So I think we could make a bit of a Japanese garden to go for the scenic route. And I think I'm going to build that out kind of over this way, and that will leave that little area for our autumn garden. So once again, I think we're going to want a nice big archway leading into this area. And we used a white flowered archway for the winter garden. I think it would definitely make sense to use a pink flowered archway to lead into the spring garden. So we've got this one with lots of purple on it. I think that is going to do us just fine. So let's maybe also have it leading in from up the top here so it can be symmetrical with the other side. And then we're going to want a few little hedges built out again. Keep this nice and symmetrical. And a hedge down this side as well. There we go, that's looking good. So let's start filtering by spring decorations, because we do actually have this kind of white stone wall which we can use for our spring garden. So I think I am going to end up kind of closing this one off from the rest of the area. So I think we could have a fence go down like that to close it off from this area. And we could even have a little kind of shrine area in the middle here, maybe. Let's see if I can draw that out neatly. We're gonna need a little entryway into it, perhaps just in the middle like that. And then leading all the way up to this gate, just like that. There we go, I think that looks pretty neat. Let's get some plaza ground down in there, just like this. And that means that we can have this little stone lantern, or maybe we should have actually a kind of statue in the middle of it, or even a tiny fountain. Okay, I think that could actually be perfect. Let's go for this fountain and some nice white benches. We could come and sit and look at the fountain. So maybe have these lanterns in each corner of this area. Just like that. There we go, looking pretty zen. And then I do kind of want a bit of water, like just a very small pond in this garden as well, so we can include one of the lovely Japanese bridges. So maybe I'll kind of include that in this area. Just go and add that in quickly. So I think something like that could be okay, although I might remove a bit of water over this side so it's not getting too close to the edge. Looks a little bit like a dog bone, but maybe I'm okay with that. And that means we can add in just a tiny little bridge from one side to the other, like that. Looks pretty sweet. And that gives a pretty obvious place for us to draw in our next few paths, which I guess will be slightly bigger than the winter garden paths. And then we can get a bit more path in. We obviously want it to lead perhaps all the way around like this. just nice and curved. And then we could even have a smaller little path come off it into that area. Maybe we'll even turn that into a bit of a circle. We can put a bit of landscaping in there. Maybe same for this one. And then let's see if our scenic route enjoys the length of this path. And bring it up here, all the way around here, up to the end, into the little Zen garden. And I actually want to try and extend it so that they walk around this way. There we go. That looks like a pretty good length and kind of covers everything. We do just need to get a few more decorations in, which is fine because I've got a lot more decorating I want to do. So I do kind of want to try and keep this to being kind of pink and purple themed. We have these cherry blossom trees, which are actually huge, but what I'm going to do, which is what I've done with them before, is I think maybe place one down here, one over here, and one over here. And then I'm going to use the gizmo tool to basically size them down quite a lot. So we can make them much smaller and more manageable. So that looks like a much better sized cherry blossom tree to me, at least for our purposes. Let's do the same with this one. There we go, that one's also sized down pretty easily. Let's go ahead and size down this one finally. There we go, I think that looks pretty good as well. Kind of comes onto the path slightly, but I think I'm okay with that. It would be quite nice to kind of walk through the blossom in that way. And then I think those were the big cherry blossom trees that I was placing down, so we can actually go for some of these smaller ones as well. That I will probably also size down at different points in the path. So these could be even smaller. Let's start with these two. I don't want it to get too overcrowded. There we go, cute little cherry blossom just there. Let's do this one as well. And there we go, another cute little cherry blossom just there. This one maybe wants to be slightly taller to look a little less weird. There we go. I think 5 cherry blossom trees like that is probably enough. And our next spring decoration is all of these kind of bamboo pieces, which I think would maybe make a good little centerpiece in the middle of these paths where we've left a gap, just like that. And we could maybe get a bit more bamboo just around this entrance as well. We can even place these pieces individually so that it doesn't look too crowded. Just like that. Looks pretty cool. And then I want to do some of my classic little decorations around the lake. I love to just add a few rocks and reeds to help the lake really fit in with the landscape. And then the final touch is just a few little lily pads, and yeah, let's keep them in red to match this bridge maybe. I think just like that, and then maybe one over this side. And that's a pretty good lake. So this is the spring garden, so I think round these borders where we don't have too much going on, I do want to add in a few flowers. I think we could have like a couple of picnic benches on this ledge over here. I know technically it would be pretty dangerous to come and sit here because it's just a totally open ledge, but for the purposes of the game, I like how it looks. And maybe the final thing to come and see out here is just this little basin. And then yeah, let's go ahead and get some of these purple flowers in. So I just want a few little clusters around. There we go, I think those purple flowers are really adding to it. We've also got these bushes which have a variety that come in kind of just purple flowers, which could be a good thing to just add in here and there as well. And then the final thing is going to be to have a bit of light throughout the garden. And I am going to go ahead and use these stone lanterns because they are a spring decoration. Don't want to overload the space, but let's just make sure you've got enough that you could find your way around. I think that's probably enough. Let's see if we have managed to get this route up to 100%. Yes, we have. Happy with that. Means we can get a couple more employees in this hotel and we can go ahead and upgrade it once again. So let's do that. Lovely, we've got our hotel looking really good. And we can move on to our final scenic route of the episode, which is going to be an autumn/Halloween route. We actually have both available to us. And if we look at the different decorations we have available for either autumn, we've got these 9, and then if we look at the Halloween ones, we've got about 11 of them. I think I'm going to want to include a mix of both in this area, so it doesn't matter too much which route theme we choose. Let's go for the spooky stroll because I think it makes sense that this is really like a Halloween themed garden because that seems like the main thing that happens in autumn. But we will include lots of lovely brown and colourful leaves on the trees as well. So as with the other little gardens, I think we're going to want an archway leading in, and it definitely makes sense to have this large autumn hedge arch, I think, for this one. And we can even have the little autumn hedge along the back here, like this. Imagine this would be a lot of work for these gardeners to keep everything looking different in all the different themes. And so the next thing is definitely to have a few sort of key autumn trees. These trees are pretty big, so I just want a couple around really in the corners like this. We can use some medium trees as well. And then some little small ones to finish it off. There we go, that looks like a kind of orange paradise. Let's go ahead and draw in our plaza path, which I think can just come in like this and then do just a bit of a wavy circle really around this area. And then in the middle here is where we can have our Halloween decorations. So let's filter for autumn and Halloween. I think what I want in the middle here is a kind of fake graveyard. Why don't we actually get this little stone wall in? Just like that. And then I think probably paint the ground underneath it. Oh wow, I definitely got to use this autumn leaves paint. That's pretty perfect. Maybe stretch it out a bit beyond the path as well. And then we can get a whole variety of graves in this spot, as well as this big cellar door, I suppose, which is apparently kind of Halloween themed. Let's just get a bunch of these around. There we go, that's looking pretty good. Could even have some mini archways as an entrance into here. Just like that. So we've got a little fake graveyard in there, that's looking pretty cool. And then we've got these kind of withered trees that I think we could have a couple of around. Maybe we'll have one just by the entrance like that. And then a kind of smaller one around the front here. And a couple of even smaller ones over that side. Looks pretty good. And then we do get this spooky scarecrow. Maybe he can just kind of hide back in between these trees. And then we can get a whole bunch of pumpkins as well around the base of these trees as a little decoration. Get some smaller ones as well. And then we definitely want some with the little lights, the jack-o'-lanterns. There we go, that looks pretty good down in that corner. We've got these mushrooms which are autumn themed as well, so I think they would make sense to have around the base of some of these bigger trees. It's a bit like what we did for our forest hike last episode. Have some more around here as well. A little autumn themed walk. There we go. And maybe we want just a couple more pumpkin displays around this side. Definitely want some more of these jack-o'-lanterns kind of lining the path, lighting it up. And you definitely want some near the entrance as well. Like that. Along with some random regular pumpkins that don't necessarily light up. Just like that. And that is looking like a pretty good autumn area. Let's see, as we did with the others, if the route is long enough to make our people happy. Can come and draw it in. And this one's pretty normal. They would just come and literally walk all the way around here. And yes, it's long enough. That is perfect. That is exactly what we love to see. So that is now also a 100% route rating. So we've gotten all of those up to 100%. And we can get the last 2 employees in our hotel. And I'm just taking a step back to look at our work, and I'm really so happy with how these 3 routes have turned out. I think they actually don't look as weird as I was kind of nervous they might look in amongst this world, which is fairly normal. But I guess I'm imagining this is almost like a theme park hotel. You can come and have all these different experiences, all of this snow would be fake and stuff like that. And let's just zoom in and look at this massive crowd of tourists who are coming to look at our winter wonderland. I think we can safely say that these tourist routes are successful. The only thing that is looking a bit plain is this sort of random space we've got at the back of that hotel. I think I could go ahead and just put in a little line of picnic benches in there. Kind of just to fill in the space. Makes sense. You might want to come and sit out and have some food or something, or a little drink. Get some little candles on those tables. And that already looks a little bit better. And so the sun is setting on our 4 or 3 season hotel that we have just built out. With that, I am going to end the episode here. I really hope you enjoyed this build. I had a lot of fun with this one today. Do let me know if you've got any ideas for future builds you'd like me to do in the comments. And also feel free to like the video or even subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy this and you made it this far in the video. But that's all from me for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.